What's up, everybody? Nick Whalen, Jeff Erickson here from RotoWire, talking some fantasy baseball. Draft season is officially upon us. We're going to give you 5 starting pitchers that Jeff is targeting in his drafts this season. We'll start at the top. We'll go right to Blake Snell. Jeff, I know you're targeting him, moving from San Francisco to the LA Dodgers this offseason. You look at his ADP over at the NFBC, sitting around 48 on average. Threw 104 innings last season, 20 starts, 5-3 with a 3.12 ERA. Did get off to a bit of a slow start, had the groin injury early on, but was so dominant down the stretch.
Yeah, and I'm comfortable making him my ace. I think joining the Dodgers, having a regular spring training, a full season, I think is going to work out well for him. Last year, was so many fits and starts, obviously signed so late, had multiple trips to the IL. And despite all that, still managed a nearly 35% K percentage, over 16% swing and strike rate. This is a guy that's just got amazing electric stuff, and now he's on the best team in baseball. I don't think this is difficult. I think that the question is, do we trust how many innings is he going to throw, especially with the Dodgers going with a 6-man rotation? I'm willing to take that chance. I'm comfortable with him being my ace, being my SP1, if you will, even in a 15-team league. So that's probably going to require you to take him like in the late 30s, early 40s, and I'm okay with that.
Let's go a little bit further down in terms of the ADP. Take a look at Shane Baz down in Tampa Bay, ADP of 174. Of course, spent the early part of last season recovering from Tommy John, limited to just 14 starts. Did see the velocity down a little bit, hoping to improve that strikeout rate, but you're optimistic that he can do that in 2025.
Yeah, and that was like, he's been trying to get healthy for a long time. He's probably not going to throw a ton of innings. You're probably not getting more than 130, 135 innings out of him, maybe a little bit more. But what I like about Baz is his off-speed offerings, hitters couldn't touch. Opposing batters on his non-fastballs hit 170 last year. The K percentage wasn't outstanding, but again, this is like a half a season after recovering from Tommy John. Year 2 of that is when you always want to jump on these guys. I think maybe some of the velocity comes back, and I think he's learned how to pitch without the elite velocity too. A little bit of a hesitation is where the Rays are going to be playing. They're playing in Tampa this year at George Steinbrenner Field. That might be a reason to be a little bit concerned. I think his stuff is good enough to overcome that. And I think at the price that you cited, 174 ADP in the NFBC, I'm willing to pay that price for him there. He's not your first or second starter.
Let's go down to Atlanta. We got Spencer Schwellenbach of the Atlanta Braves, ADP just inside the top 100 at the NFBC. This is a guy who dominated at the minor league levels last year, Jeff, before coming up at the end of May. Finished the year 7-3, 2.54 ERA over those final 15 starts. Where is he fitting in this Braves rotation?
Oh, he's their number 3 probably to begin the year because Spencer Strider won't be ready. That's kind of important too because that means he misses the Dodgers in his first start. The Braves do start off at San Diego and then at the Dodgers. So you kind of want to avoid that. And we'll get to that with the next one of the next pitchers we're going to be talking about here. But I love the K percentage. I love how he made the jump. Again, this is a year 2 after Tommy John guy. I'm a little concerned about the innings jump, but the Braves are they get developing pitchers, and Schwellenbach stepped up big when they needed to get that win to get into the playoffs. It was Schwellenbach that stepped up and delivered it for them.
Tell me a little bit about David Festa, Jeff. ADP in the 340s, should be widely available if you want to make a point to get him later in your drafts. Split last season almost perfectly evenly between AAA and the major leagues. And at the time he came up last year, he was a top 50 guy in James Anderson's top 400.
Yes, he was. Again, really good swing and miss. Every year his velocity has improved too. This is one of those guys that began his career as like a low to mid 90s fastball. Now it's mid to high 90s fastball. 12.7% swinging strike rate last year at the major league level. A little bit of a bumpy debut, but that's kind of to be expected. So when you're airing your grievances about Festa, he'll get over the physical challenge of this here. Yes, I'm sorry. Not sorry.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yes, of course it's coming. But I think he's got a stable place in the Twins rotation. I think there's some concern that he might, but I think he's going to win that. And I think the strikeout upside is what you want to go after here. Instead of going after the boring, he's going to get you 30 starts, but he's going to average 7 strikeouts per 9. I'd rather take a chance on a guy like Festa and then he gets in and takes it to the next level.
All right, the fifth and final pitcher on our list. We're going back to Atlanta. Grant Holmes, Jeff, debuted at age 28 last season. Spent a long time in the minor leagues. He was drafted in the first round all the way back in 2014. And, this started off as kind of this feel-good story. We'll see where it goes, but turned into a lot more than that down the stretch last season. I do wonder, though, I know you're in on him. Are there concerns here about a rotation spot being available once Spencer Strider's back?
Yes, of course. I do think that is a little bit of an issue, and he had a little bit of a hybrid role last year, but he's got to hold off the likes of maybe Ian Anderson, AJ Smith-Shawver for that spot. Even with Strider in there, I've got him penciled in as my 5 for the Braves. So I think he gets it. Again, maybe that first weekend you watch from afar. The acquisition cost is low enough too that you can afford to be a little bit wrong about this. And we draft skills, not roles. And what I love is the 16.5% swing and strike rate that he had last year after he got the call. Yes, of course, as a reliever, you're going to have a higher swing and miss. You're going to have a higher K percentage. But he's got that ability. I think you should try to bank on that. Get him while he's cheap.
All right, there we have it. Those are 5 pitchers that the expert, Jeff Erickson, will be targeting in his fantasy baseball drafts. Make sure if you're watching this video, you give it a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the RotoWire YouTube channel. That way you won't miss any of our content. We put basketball content, football content, plenty of baseball content coming your way over these next few months. We'll have some pitchers we're avoiding coming soon, so keep an eye out for that on the YouTube channel. Again, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you check out rotowire.com/try, TRY. Free access to everything on our site. That's rotowire.com/try.